वरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी विजन जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानन्दन जय व्रज जनरञ्जन जय जमुना तीरा वनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री निताय गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा। आज हम पढ़ रहे हैं श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 1 चैप्टर 9। अध्याय का शीर्षक भगवान कृष्ण की उपस्थिति में भीष्मदेव का देह त्याग। verse number 45. तत्र दुन्दुभयो नेदुर् तत्र दुर्देवमानववादिताः सशंसुः साधवो राज्ञां खात्पेतुः पुष्पवृष्टयः तत्र दुन्दुभयो नेदुर् देवमानववादिताः सशंसुः साधवो राज्ञां खात्पेतुः पुष्पवृष्टयः तत्र दुन्दुभयो नेदुर् देवमानववादिताः सशंसुः साधवो राज्ञां खात्पेतुः पुष्पवृष्टयः Mataji's. तत्र दुन्दुभयो नेदुर् देवमानववादिताः सशंसुः साधवो राज्ञां खात्पेतुः पुष्पवृष्टयः तत्र दुन्दुभयो नेदुर् देवमानववादिताः सशंसुः साधवो राज्ञां शब्दार्थ अनुवाद और तात्पर्य हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी द्वारा। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। तत्र तत्पश्चात दुन्दुभयः नगाड़े नेदुः बजाने लगे। देव अन्य ग्रहों के देवता, मानव सारे देशों के मनुष्य, वादिताः के द्वारा बजाए जाकर सशंसुः प्रशंसा की, साधवः ईमानदार, राज्ञाम राजाओं के द्वारा, खात आकाश से, पेतुः गिरने लगी, पुष्प वृष्टयः पुष्पों की वर्षा। तत्पश्चात मनुष्यों तथा देवताओं ने सम्मान में नगाड़े बजाए और निष्ठावान राजाओं ने सम्मान तथा आदर प्रदर्शित किया और आकाश से पुष्पों की वर्षा होने लगी। मनुष्य तथा देवता दोनों ही भीष्मदेव का आदर करते थे। मनुष्य पृथ्वी पर एवं ऐसे ही अन्य ग्रहों के समूह भूः तथा भुवः में रहते हैं, लेकिन देवता स्वः अर्थात स्वर्ग लोक में रहते हैं और वे सभी भीष्मदेव को एक महान योद्धा तथा भगवत भक्त के रूप में जानते थे। महाजन या अधिकारी के रूप में वे ब्रह्मा, नारद तथा शिव के तुल्य थे। यद्यपि वे एक मानव थे। देवताओं के तुल्य योग्यता आध्यात्मिक पूर्णता मिलने पर ही होती है। इस प्रकार भीष्मदेव ब्रह्मांड में सर्वत्र विख्यात थे और उनके समय में एक लोक से दूसरे लोक की यात्रा व्यर्थ के यांत्रिक अंतरिक्ष यानों के द्वारा नहीं अपितु सूक्ष्मतर विधियों से संपन्न की जाती थी। जब सुदूर ग्रहों को भीष्मदेव के निधन की सूचना भेजी गई तो उच्च लोकों के निवासियों ने तथा पृथ्वी के निवासियों ने देवंगत महापुरुष के सम्मान में पुष्पों की वर्षा की। स्वर्ग से फूलों की वर्षा देवताओं द्वारा मान्यता का चिन्ह है और इसकी तुलना कभी भी शव को फूलों से सजाने से नहीं की जानी चाहिए। आत्म साक्षात्कार के कारण भीष्मदेव के शरीर का भौतिक प्रभाव मिट चुका था और उनका शरीर उसी प्रकार आध्यात्मिक बन गया था जिस प्रकार अग्नि के संपर्क में आकर लोहा तप्त लाल हो जाता है। अतएव पूर्णतः स्वरूप सिद्ध व्यक्ति का शरीर भौतिक नहीं माना जाता। ऐसे आध्यात्मिक शरीरों के लिए विशेष उत्सव मनाए जाते हैं। भीष्मदेव के सम्मान का तथा उनकी मान्यता का अनुकरण कभी कृत्रिम साधनों से नहीं करना चाहिए, क्योंकि आजकल हर सामान्य व्यक्ति का जयंती समारोह मनाया जाता है। प्रामाणिक शास्त्रों के अनुसार किसी सामान्य व्यक्ति का, चाहे वह भौतिक दृष्टि से कितना ही बड़ा क्यों न हो, जयंती उत्सव मनाना भगवान के प्रति अपराध है, क्योंकि जयंती तो धरा पर भगवान के आविर्भाव दिवस के लिए सुरक्षित है। भीष्मदेव अपने कार्यकलापों के कारण अद्भुत थे और उनका ईश्वर के धाम को प्रयाण भी अद्भुत है। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Seeking everyone's blessings so that I may speak something in parampara. So today I shall be speaking predominantly in English so that I am little comfortable as much as possible, but I will translate once in a while in Hindi as well. तो आज का जो भीष्म पितामह के ऊपर जो अभी सत्र चल रहा है उस पर हम जो तात्पर्य में तीन बातें हैं जो प्रभुपाद ने मुख्यतः बताया है। सो द फर्स्ट वन इज दैट भीष्मदेव इज रिस्पेक्टेबल इवन इन द ग्रुप्स ऑफ डेमिगॉड्स। सो इट इज लाइक like we say who are the GBC in Pune, like we can say His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Vasudev Gehlot, then His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, like that. So when we are including like somebody like Vasu, who is, a budding devotee, who is very fast growing in the devotional life, but if we compare him with the GBC in Pune, in the likeness of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, etc., and then we add him, then we know, okay, he's a very exalted personality. Like that, Bhismadeva is now being compared with Lord Shiva, Brahma, and Narada. Okay, so this is something which is very extraordinary. तो भीष्म पितामह की गणना किन सज्जनों के साथ हो रही है, किन व्यक्तित्व के साथ हो रही है? भगवान शिव जी, ब्रह्मा जी और नारद के साथ. मतलब वो इतने उच्च स्तर पर माने जाते हैं. सो दिस इज समथिंग लाइक दैट. बट व्हाई इज ही सो रेस्पेक्टेबल? बिकॉज ही हैज अचीव्ड स्पिरिचुअल परफेक्शन. So this is the first thing that we are going to talk about. The second thing we are going to talk about is, Prabhupada is talking about यहाँ पे ये जो व्यर्थ साधन हैं जिसके द्वारा लोग अलग अलग ग्रहों तक पहुँचने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं. Especially when Prabhupada was writing these purports, there was big fanfare about the human attempt to reach Mars with mechanical contrivance. So they were trying to send man to space in a spaceship. So Prabhupada here uses the word व्यर्थ or futile attempt. फ्यूटाइल का क्या मतलब है, व्यर्थ का क्या मतलब है? कि ये जितने भी उन्होंने रॉकेट बनाए हैं चंद्रमा तक पहुंचने के लिए, वो सफल नहीं हो पाएंगे. तो ये मतलब है प्रभुपाद का. बट नाउ ही इज टेलिंग दैट देयर वेर फाइनर मेथड्स विच वर यूज्ड फॉर इंटरप्लैनेटरी ट्रैवल. एक ग्रह से दूसरे ग्रह तक पहुंचने के लिए बहुत ही सूक्ष्म तरीके थे पहले. तो उसके विषय में दैट इज द सेकंड टॉपिक दैट वी विल टॉक अबाउट. एंड दिस वन विल बी द लॉन्गेस्ट. एंड द थर्ड वन दैट वी विल टॉक अबाउट इज अबाउट दिस जयंती, that these days even ordinary men are being accorded this rare distinction of celebrating Jayanti on their appearance or birthdays or death days. So these are the three things. The first thing, as I said, that Bhismadeva was considered very respectable by even the demigods, and he being a Mahajan is categorized among the greatest of personalities like Lord Shiva, Brahma and Narad Rishi also. So how is that? That is because of his spiritual perfection. Now here it is seen that ये नगाड़े बजाए जा रहे थे जब भीष्म पितामह का, जब उन्होंने अपना देह त्यागा तब नगाड़े बजाए जा रहे थे. तो उनके मृत्यु पर इतने सेलिब्रेशन की क्या आवश्यकता है, इतना उत्सव क्यों? क्योंकि जब कोई मनुष्य अपना देह त्यागता है तो ये मतलब दूसरी जगह उसका जन्म निश्चित है. क्योंकि कोई भी इस संसार के जो चक्र है उससे बाहर नहीं निकल पाता है कोई भी. तो यहाँ पे सभी लोग उत्सव मना रहे हैं क्योंकि उनके स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ का सक्सेस है ये. क्योंकि वो अभी अपना देह त्याग के पुनः जन्म नहीं लेने वाले इस लोक में. ही इज नाउ गॉन बैक होम, बैक टू गॉडेड. सो दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई देयर इज अ ग्रेट सेलिब्रेशन. And this is the reason, and because he was such a great devotee and such a great warrior, he is considered among the equals, even among the demigods. Because even the demigods, they pray so that they can be born on this earth, thereby getting the opportunity to develop, grow in spiritual life and attain the perfection, that is returning back home, back to Godhead in the service of the Lord. So that is why Bhismadeva here is being glorified, respected by all the demigods. So the next one that we're going to talk about today is a little long one, so I've reserved a little more time for that. That is the artificial mechanical ways by which a person can go from one planet to the other, interplanetary travel. So ये people think that we can use spacecrafts and then you can escape the gravitational pull of the Earth, and then we can get attracted to the gravitational pull of the other planet and then land there safely. So here Prabhupada says that man did not actually reach the other planets. So how do we understand this? So, for example, if a person is here, I heard in one yatra that we were going in a bus to one Leela Sthali, and there was a breakdown of the bus, and lots of buses were all stuck up there because everybody wanted to go together. And after a long time, after almost 40 minutes, the buses started moving. And then when we reached there, we were all frustrated. बस में बैठे हुए हैं, पसीना निकल रहा है, पूरी तरह थके हुए हैं, और अब क्या कथा सुनेंगे? तो हम अपनी कथा सुनाने लगे एक दूसरे को. At that time, the person who was the धाम सेवक, he came and he said, तो पहले जब लोग यात्रा पे जाते थे, तब ऐसा नहीं था कि हेलीकॉप्टर में बैठे और तुरंत वहां पे पहुंच गए आधे घंटे में. तब क्या होता था कि the entire consciousness of the person used to be completely cluttered with the business work, with the familial affairs, and with the whatever work the person is doing, which is definitely not clutter free. It's a very confused state of mind. Just project yourself in your office and then you can visualize what I'm trying to say. Ab imagine a person is completely engrossed in materialistic activities, and by a mechanical contrivance, he has been completely transported in that consciousness itself within half an hour into the most sacred pilgrimage place. Now, can the person be able to receive the mercy or the grace that is available there? He will still be thinking of, अरे वापस पहुंच के एक ईमेल और भेजना है. तो इस चेतना के साथ यदि कोई पहुंच भी जाए किसी अन्य ग्रह पर या फिर यहीं पे किसी तीर्थ स्थल पर, तो क्या वो वहां का कोई भी जो वाइब्रेशन है या जो वहां का जो ग्रेस है, क्या वो उसको ले पाएगा अपने अंदर? दिस पर्सन विल स्टिल बी थिंकिंग ऑफ द अनफिनिश्ड टास्क्स, self anointed and appointed tasks that have still to be done. So this was what that person was explaining कि पहले क्या होता था, जब लोग यात्रा पे जाते थे तो वो चल के जाते थे, तो उनके पास 1 महीने का समय था अपने आप को एडजस्ट करने के लिए, कि पहले तो अपने जो यहाँ का जो सिटी लाइफ है उसको छोड़कर सादगी का जीवन, और जो भी जा रहे हैं वो सभी लोग 1 महीना तो कम से कम देने को तैयार हैं भगवान के लिए. तो उनके साथ क्या बातें करेंगे? भगवत धाम के विषय में, भगवान की लीलाओं के बारे में. तो पूरा का पूरा जो मनुष्य का जो चेतना है वो कंप्लीटली परिवर्तित हो जाता है इससे पहले कि वो तीर्थ स्थल तक पहुंचे. उसके पास पूरा टाइम है पूरी तरह इक्विलिब्रियम में आने के लिए, और वो अपनी चेतना को धीरे 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 लेकिन संपूर्णतः बदल देता है. और जब वो तीर्थ स्थल पर पहुंचता है, देन ही इज वेरी मच अप्रोप्रिएटली यू कुड से एडजस्टेड in order to receive the mercy of that place. So that person was telling, आपके जो बस का ब्रेकडाउन हुआ है और वहाँ पे जो आप कीर्तन कर रहे थे, there were some people leading the kirtan in the bus. So that was sufficient. It was required for you to reach this place, and now we can have proper Gaur Leela Katha. So that was one thing which I understood. So this is the same thing. Just like we cannot reach another planet by using this spacecraft, another reason why we cannot is because any place that you go, we have to wear clothes accordingly. It is said that in different planets, the atmospheric conditions are different. For example, in the sun planet, the temperature is extremely high. So high that if we go anywhere close in this current body, we will be completely molten, vaporized, become plasma. So the person who is living in that planet like Vivaswan, he must be having a specialized body suitable for that atmosphere. So just similarly, if we want to go to a very cold place in the world, then we have to wear the kind of suits like heavy overcoats, jackets, gloves, socks, mask, and monkey caps and whatnot. And only then will we be able to take in or absorb, be able to be comfortable in that atmosphere. So similarly, just like we have to change our physical attributes to go to a place within this world, similarly, if a person has to go to another world, then the person not only has to change his gross body, but also his subtle body suitably in order to get adjusted to that place. Otherwise, the person has just gone there and come back without having seen anything. तो इस संदर्भ में श्रील प्रभुपाद कहते हैं कि वृंदावन जाने के लिए टिकट खरीद के नहीं जा सकते आप. A person cannot go to Vrindavan by buying a ticket. So this is very important for us to understand. So I will, first try to explain why we are not able to see ourselves. पहली बात, हम अपने आप को ही क्यों नहीं देख पाते, पहचान पाते. उसके बाद हम we will take up the other exalted topic of वृंदावन क्यों नहीं देख पाते या वृंदावन में हम प्रवेश क्यों नहीं पा पाते. Of course, please, you must all understand that none of what I am speaking, these are borrowed plumes जैसे कहते हैं. ये मेरे साक्षात्कार नहीं है, जो सुना है वो मैं दोहराने का प्रयास करूंगा. So the first thing here is that when, if you remember, Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, it says Karpanya dosha pahata svabhavaha. What is that Karpanya dosh? Is Arjuna actually a miser? Is he not spending money? This Karpanya has a specific meaning. What this means is he has something called a valuable human body, a human life, and he is unable to utilize that. So if a person is not using the money that he's got, then he's called a kripana or a miser. Similarly, a person who has got a precious, valuable human form of life and is unable to use it or does not know how to use it, that person becomes a miser or suffers from Karpanya dosha. Right? So now, similarly, how a person can understand or can use a certain thing when a person appreciates the value of that thing, then only it can be used. Otherwise, it will be treated as something very normal. So only when we can appreciate the possession of something of value, when we can understand its value, only then can we utilize it for what it is called valuable for. मतलब एक वस्तु का महत्व को अगर हम नहीं जानते तो उस वस्तु को हम ठीक तरीके से इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. जैसे एक बंदर को मोती की माला देना, तो बंदर जब मोती की माला के महत्व को नहीं समझता तो वो मोती की माला का करेगा क्या? वो पूरा निकाल के तोड़ देगा और इधर उधर फेंक देगा. वैसे ही appreciation is extremely important for us to understand the value of something, and only then can we use it. Otherwise, we shall also suffer from Karpanya dosha. For appreciation, the prerequisite is gratitude. If we assume that we deserve going to Vrindavan because we have bought a first class ticket to Vrindavan, that means we can never experience gratitude for having reached there. So I'll just tell a small incident which happened in London, which was captured in the Reader's Digest, which I used to read long time back. So a person goes up to the booking counter and he puts money down, thap, like that, 50-pound note. And he says, first class ticket to Oxford. So that person pushes it back and he says, first class is not a ticket, sir. It's a way of life. So what that means is that if we think that we have purchased a way of life just by showing in a dollar or a pound note, that means we assume that we deserve it, and therefore we cut off the path of gratitude, understanding that we are grateful to be in that particular place. So without appreciation, without gratitude, we cannot get appreciation. But without humility, we cannot get gratitude. विनम्र नहीं होंगे तो कृतज्ञता की जो भावना है वो कभी हमारे अंदर प्रवेश ही नहीं कर सकती. So what is that humility? Humility is the proper understanding that we actually are unqualified to receive the grace. So many times people assume that humility means something like lack of self-respect. It is only proper recognition of our true value. So when we understand that we are getting, for example, the kind of facility that we have got here, the kind of arrangements that are made here, if we think that we have struggled enough for this and we correctly and rightly deserve this, then immediately the gratitude will be cut off. And we cannot appreciate. Since we cannot appreciate, we cannot take in what that thing has to offer us. Therefore, humility is of paramount importance. So my Guru Maharaj says that humility, gratitude and appreciation are preliminary qualifications in order to connect to the flow of grace that is flowing in Sri Vrindavan Dham, for example. So this means that we need to develop these qualities. So now let us go back to what I started off saying. How do we understand ourselves itself? So we are pure soul. But can we see ourselves like that? So it is said, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, which means that ये जो हमारा जो मन है, जो हमारी जो चेतना है in the form of the mind, it is actually a mirror. तो हम मन के द्वारा शुद्ध आत्मा को देख सकते हैं, लेकिन क्यों नहीं देख पाते? क्योंकि उसमें मल है. This mirror has been covered over by the dirt. And it is said that the world is a mirror of the mind. The mind is a mirror of the pure spirit soul. So this is like, a mirror reflecting another mirror which is reflecting the true object. So why is the world a mirror of our mind? Because we see things the way we are. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, wherever we see faults because we are ourselves honeycombed with faults. So, like I can give a common example. There are some children who go to the hostel and the hostel is having, everything neatly kept the day they are coming. And within 2 weeks, the place is transformed. हर जगह किताबें होती हैं, कपड़े होते हैं, धुले हुए और अनधुले हुए कपड़े एक जैसे हो जाते हैं हॉस्टल में. क्यों? क्योंकि जो उसके जो मन में जो उथल पुथल चल रहा है, जो कंफ्यूजन जो चल रहा है, और वो बाहर जो कंफ्यूजन चल रहा है, वो दोनों में जब तक इक्विलिब्रियम नहीं हो जाता, तब तक वो बच्चा सुरक्षित नहीं फील करता अपने आप को. Okay, so this is like, keep a hot object in this AC room. Suddenly it will drop its temperature, increase the temperature of the room also, but we cannot see it because of the mass of the air in the room is much higher. But both of them reach what is called a thermal equilibrium. दोनों में temperature बराबर हो जाता है. कौन सा? कमरे का और गर्म दूध के गिलास का. वैसे ही एक मानव का और उसके वातावरण में अगर संतुलन बैठना है तो दोनों एक जैसे होने चाहिए. अंदर गंदगी है तो बाहर भी गंदगी जब तक नहीं होती तब तक वो दोनों खुश नहीं रह सकते, मतलब वो मानव खुश नहीं रहता है. In the other way around also, the person who goes to another place is only able to see faults, only able to see the dirt, only able to see the nuisance and other things there because he is carrying that subtle body with him in that place. So he is able to see with that colored mirror glasses only. So अब ये dirt है क्या? जो चेतो मार्जनम में जो करना है, what is that dirt? So that dirt is actually I-centeredness. मतलब मैं जो सर्वस्व है, जो सारा जगत है, जो संपूर्ण जो जीवन है, उसका केंद्र हूँ. ये है मल उस दर्पण पर जो हमें अपना वास्तविक शुद्ध आत्मा को देखने से रोक देता है. तो what is the way to cure it? That is Krishna Centeredness. The moment a person tries to calculate in terms of what is in it for me, what can I gain out of this situation, how can I satisfy my senses by going there, many times we will find that when we right now we can go either in flashback or we can feel comfortable by projecting these shortcomings on other people. Let us do the latter because we are more comfortable in that. But if we have some honesty, we can project it on ourselves as well. Then we will see the reality. But now just imagine you are calling some newcomer, let's go to Vrindavan. So immediately we will say, in this period it's going to be hot. we should book a AC hotel. Number two, we should stay a little outside Vrindavan, because Vrindavan, I've heard, is highly polluted. So these are the kinds of arrangements a person starts making before he is even going to that dham. Now, when he goes there, he will go as a sightseeing person who sees which are the good places there, which are mentioned in must see. And then when he comes back, he might upload Facebook pictures and put a tick mark. Ye sari cheezein ho gayi hai. But neither his heart would be transformed, nor would he be eager to go there again, because there is already a tick mark there. So this is what is our consciousness also, when we start thinking in terms of what are the kind of arrangements that I need to do in terms of the shortcomings that I have heard will be there when I reach that place, so that I can be comfortable throughout my stay. So where is Krishna centeredness in this? It is purely I-centeredness. So when there is I-centeredness, there is dirt. When there is dirt, we cannot see the reflection. Therefore, we cannot appreciate that place. And therefore, we cannot absorb anything that that place has to offer to us. And therefore, we shall come back with zero heart transformation and carry on with a heavy biodata, but zero transformation. So we can write pages and pages of pilgrimages that we have attended. Such kind of places nobody has even heard of. Because many times in yatras, many times people organize certain pastimes in places which people have not gone to. We can even add that, yet we shall be where we are. We shall be how we are. So this is what happens when we carry that I-centeredness with us. So now we will take certain pastimes from certain devotees' lives, and then we can understand how this I consciousness has been replaced with Krishna consciousness or Krishna-centered approach. So we will first take the example of Yamuna Mataji, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So when she went to Vrindavan first time, they were supposed to build the Krishna Balram Mandir at that place. And the place was very, very hot. It was around 45 degrees Celsius. And in that place, there were 5 Prabhujis and this alone Mataji. जो प्रभुजी जो थे इतनी गर्मी नहीं सह पाते थे वृंदावन में, तो छत पे जाके सो जाते थे. थोड़ा बहुत तो हवा चलती थी रात के समय, तो वो सह लेते थे. लेकिन माताजी थी वो छत पे सबके साथ, तो वहाँ पे नहीं सो सकती थी, तो कमरे में ही सोती थी जहाँ पे छोटी छोटी खिड़कियाँ थी. और खिड़की खोलो तो मच्छर और अंदर आते थे. तो वहाँ का जो वातावरण, जो तापमान था, वो दिन से भी बढ़कर हो जाता था. तो माताजी क्या करती थी, नीचे जाके अपने साड़ी में पूरा पानी डाल के वापस जाती थी, और 10 मिनट के अंदर पूरी तरह वापस सिर्फ हड्डियां रह जाती थी सूखी हुई. तो इस टेम्परेचर में, इस असुविधा में, माताजी वॉज थिंकिंग, प्रभुपाद स्पेंड 6 years in similar atmosphere, and he had none of the equipment, devices, amenities that could make him comfortable. All he did for us, so that today we could come to Vrindavan Dham. And the moment she understood this, when she saw that Prabhupada has done, he has endured all this for me to stay here, and what I am doing is thinking of the problems, this is an opportunity for me to follow the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and serve him in return. The moment she began to think like this, she says in her book, the moment she began to think like this, the inconveniences transformed into joy. Okay, so we have this poem, Vishaya chadiya kabe shuddha habe mana kabe hame heriba Shri Vrindavana. So here, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he says that when will my attraction and attachment to material things be freed of? When will I be freed of these things? When will I be changed my I center to Krishna center? When will my mind become clean? In fact, this is a corollary of the first thing. The moment he is when he is able to leave Vishaya Chadiya, at that time the mind will become clean. And when he is clean, then he will be able to Haribo Vrindavan Dham. That is, he will be able to see Vrindavan Dham. This is exactly what we are talking about. So, unless we are able to leave that I-centered and catch on to Krishna center, till that time, neither will we have the humility, nor the gratitude, nor the appreciation, nor will we be able to utilize the value that that place has to give to us. And we will be going there with a, what is that called? सुरक्षा कवच, कि किसी भी तरह वृंदावन का जो मर्सी है मुझ पे ना लग जाए और वापस सुरक्षित पहुंच जाएंगे बैक टू वेयर वी आर. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी आर डिस्कसिंग हियर. ओके, सो नाउ I'll take up just maybe very quickly I'll take up another pastime, that of Akrura, when he was coming to bring Krishna back. Actually, if you see Akrura's डिस्क्रिप्शन, अगर कोई अक्रूर का इंट्रोडक्शन दे, ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन, तो दो चीजें बताएंगे. एक तो कृष्ण को मथुरा लेके जा रहे थे ताकि उनको मार डालें. दूसरा वो क्या कर रहे थे कि वो कृष्ण को ऐसे परमानेंटली लेके जा रहे थे. इट्स अ परमानेंट ट्रांसफर टू मथुरा, ताकि वृंदावन के जो वासी हैं वो हमेशा ही वो विरह में तड़पते रहें. तो ये दो काम थे उनके, मेनली उनका जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन यही था. सो वी कैन से ही इज द बिगेस्ट विलन इन दैट सेंस. But Srimad Bhagavatam describes his state of mind when he is going from Mathura to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balram. Such is the pure state of his mind that even before he reaches Vrindavan Dham, he is seeing the entire spiritual world before him. He just takes a dip in the Yamuna and he is seeing everything. That was his pure state. So this is the other small thing that I wanted to talk about, the example. And it is said, we don't this Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, don't try to see Krishna. Try to serve Krishna in such a way that Krishna wants to see you. Similarly, we can extend this here. Don't try to see Vrindavan or gain entry into Vrindavan, or in the current context, Sridham Mayapur. But try to serve the Dham in such a way that the Dham wants to reveal herself to you. So this we can use that as an application. So we go to the last part, and here what is here? It's given here that they were showering flowers. The demigods were showering flowers on the dead body of Bhismadeva. And Srila Prabhupada says this should not be compared to the decoration of a dead body. Srila Prabhupada says this modern materialistic advancement of civilization is compared to decorating a dead body. All of us are dead bodies, he says, who are flapping about for a short period of time, and yet we are investing our entire energies in pampering to this dead body or decorating this dead body. So Prabhupada clearly wants us that this offering respectfully of flowers and recognition of Bhismadeva's exalted qualities should not be compared to the spirituality vihin modern civilization. So here, why is it said that it is not a material body? So we will just see how Prabhupada always talks about re-spiritualization. Actually, we are also spirit souls. We have only materialized ourselves. And we can dematerialize or re-spiritualize ourselves. And through this process of Krishna consciousness. But here, let us see briefly what it means that it was not at all a material body. So I'll just tell one very small pastime before connecting it back. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, he was once visiting one organization. They took him to a place, and in that place, when he was walking into their sanctum sanctorum, it was like deityless, devotee-less kind of a place where you can sit soulless and start meditating on nothing. And when he was going inside there, They said, ये अपना ये जो लैपटॉप है यहाँ पे रख दीजिए, ये जो bead bag है ये भी रख दीजिए. He said, bead bag, तो I want to chant there. No, nothing you can take inside. But when he went inside, they could not take his consciousness. He still could chant the holy names of Krishna. That's what he told us. Similarly, Bhishma Pitama was materialless, you can say. He had a body, but he had no body because he could not use his body for any purpose. And still he was completely spiritual. He could use whatever was left of his body for spirituality. So that means a person who uses the body only for spirituality or who does not need the body for spiritual purposes, both of them are perfectly spiritual. Like it is said, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, Yathor Bhakshe Bhaktir Adhokshade Ahaituki Apratihata. So this is the Apratihata. That is, the body is utilized and the impediments of the body are surpassed. Because the person is entirely using what is there or not there only for Krishna's service. So this is why we can conclude that Bhismadev's body was entirely spiritual. So with this we conclude. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.